Okay, so let's get started on these. We have three functions defined here, f of x, g of x, and h of x. So let's look at number one. I'm going to get the formula for f, and everywhere where there's an x, I'm going to replace it with a 2 in parentheses. And so that's going to be 6 minus 2, which is 4. And so the answer for that one is 4. Now, for f of negative 2, I'm going to take the formula for f, which is up here. And everywhere there's a negative 2, everywhere there's an x in there, I'm going to replace it with negative 2 in parentheses. So that's going to be negative 6 minus 2, which is going to be negative 8. Now I want f evaluated at x minus 1. Let me rewrite the formula for f here. So if I want f evaluated at something, then I'm going to rewrite the formula of f where there's a blank parentheses wherever the x's were. Now what do we want? We want f evaluated at x minus 1. So that's what goes inside here. But we cannot stop here. We have to write our answer out without any parentheses. So this is going to be 3 times x plus 3 times negative 1 minus 2. And so that's going to be 3x minus 5. That's how you would see it on a final exam. You would never see it written like that. So that's not finished. This is how you would see the answer here. Okay, so let's look at f evaluated at 2 times x. Again, if you're replacing the x with something other than just a number, it's best to write it out like this first, right? Blank parentheses wherever the x is. And what do we want? We want f evaluated at 2x. And replace that in there. And then I have to write my final answer without any parentheses. 3 times 2x is 6x, and then minus 2. And I can't simplify that anymore. Okay, now what about g evaluated at negative 1? I'll write the formula for g here. And so g evaluated at negative 1, if it's just a number you're replacing, everywhere there's an x, rewrite it with negative 1 in parentheses. And negative 1 minus 1 is equal to negative 2. All right, now what about g evaluated at x plus 2? Well, now I'm going to rewrite this so that I have blank parentheses wherever the x is. And what do we want? We want g evaluated at x plus 2, so that's what's going to go in here. And so that's going to give us x plus 2 minus 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and our answer would be 1, x plus 1. That's our answer for that one. All right, now what about h evaluated at negative 3? Come over here and write it above h. If I'm just replacing x with a number, then do it in the formula inside parentheses. Now, if you don't do it in parentheses, you're going to get the wrong answer here. Negative 3 in parentheses. So negative 3 all squared is positive 9. Then you have minus 2 times negative 3, which is plus 6. And then you have plus 3. Okay, and so I'm going to get 18 when I add all of that together. So I get a number. Notice when you have a number inside the parentheses, you get a number. When you have an expression with x, then you'll get an answer with the expression of x. Now let me rewrite the formula for h of x here. Now to get this one, I'm going to rewrite h and just have a blank parenthesis wherever the x was. And inside now, we're going to put x plus 1. And we cannot stop there. We have to write it without any parentheses. So x plus 1 all squared is not x squared plus 1 squared. It's x plus 1 times itself. And I'm going to have to FOIL that. Then we have to distribute the negative 2 through. So that'll be minus 2x then minus 2 times 1 plus 3. And now I'm going to make a little space here. Should be enough room to do this. And so when I FOIL this, I'm going to have x squared plus x again plus 1. So plus 2x plus 1. All right, foiling is something we learned in Math 100. So this times this, plus that times that, plus that times that, plus that times that. Get that. Then I have minus 2x. Minus 2 plus 3 is plus 1. And I will get x squared. 2x minus 2x, they cancel. And then I'll have plus 1 is plus 2. So my answer to that one, last one, is x squared plus 2. Okay. That takes care of all of 1. So now I'm going to clear the screen. And let's look at number 2. F plus g of x. Well, f plus g of x, just like was shown on the help sheets, is f of x plus g of x. So the formula for f is 3x minus 2. And the formula for g is x minus 1. And then I combine any like terms. 3x plus x is 4x. And negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And that's my answer to that one. Now for this one, we have to be very careful. That's going to be the formula for f minus the formula for g. And if g has more than one term, it's minus the entire formula. So it's the formula for f, which is 3x minus 2, then it's minus, and you've got to put it in parentheses, the entire formula for g. So now I'm going to distribute this negative sign through, so it's minus x plus 1. And then I have 3x minus x is 2x, and negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And that's my answer. Now, a lot of students just forget to distribute the negative sign or apply it to the whole thing because they don't take the precaution of putting that in parentheses. A lot of students will just write formula for x minus and then, oh, formula for g. So formula for f minus formula for g. And this is wrong because that negative sign has to be applied to every term. And if they do this, they'll get 3x minus x, which is 2x, which is correct, but then they'll get negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3, and that is not correct. You have to distribute that negative sign to every term. Okay, then f times g is the same thing as f of x times g of x. So it's the formula for f, which is 3x minus 2, times the formula for g, which is x minus 1. And so we're going to FOIL. First it's going to be that times that plus that times that. So that'll be 3x squared plus 3x times negative 1, so minus 3x. And then to complete the foiling, I have to do that times that plus that times that. So I'm going to have minus 2x. And negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then putting all of that together, I'm going to have 3x squared. And minus 3x minus 2x is minus 5x. And then plus 2. And that's my answer for that one. Okay. Now I'm going to clear the board again. Let's go on to this one. That's the formula for f all divided by the formula for h. And so I'm going to have 3x minus 2 all over x squared minus 2x plus 3. And I don't have anything to cancel. No, I can't factor that. So there's no cancellation there. If there's cancellation, you'll have to do it. But that's what we get for that answer. And then g minus h, it's the formula for g minus the formula for h. So formula for G minus all of the formula for H. So that negative sign has to be applied to every term. So minus x squared minus negative 2x and minus 3. And then I gather like terms. I want the largest power of x to come first. So I'm going to start with minus x squared. Then I have x plus 2x will give me plus 3x. And negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And so that would be my answer for that one. So that's all of part 2. I'm going to clear the board. And here, if I have something like this, well, it's just going to be f evaluated at negative 2 minus g evaluated at negative 2. And both of these are numbers. F evaluated at negative 2 is going to be 3 times negative 2 minus 2, which is negative 8. Then I'm copying that subtraction sign, and then I'm going to evaluate g at negative 2. G at negative 2 is going to be negative 2 minus 1. And negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And then I'll have negative 8 plus 3. And so that should give me negative 5. All right, G times H, evaluated at 2, is going to be G of 2 times H of 2. So G evaluated at 2 is going to be 2 minus 1, which is 1. And H evaluated at 2 is going to be 2 squared minus 2 times 2 plus 3, which is 4 minus 4 plus 3, which is 3. And 1 times 3 is equal to 3. So that would be my answer for that one. Okay, what about this one? This is going to be f evaluated at negative 1 all over h evaluated at negative 1. So f evaluated at negative 1 is going to be that, which is negative 3 minus 2, which is negative 5. And h evaluated at negative 1 is going to be negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 3. Negative 1 all squared is positive 1. Minus 2 times negative 1 is plus 2. And then plus 3, which will give me 6. And so that'll be negative 5, 6. Now, if you got a negative in the numerator and denominator, the negative signs would cancel, but that's not what happened here. And then G minus H evaluated at 2 is going to be G evaluated at 2 minus H evaluated at 2. And G evaluated at 2 is going to be 2 minus 1, which is 1. And then minus, and H evaluated at 2 is going to be 2 squared minus 2 times 2 plus 3. So 4 minus 4 plus 3, so that would just be 3. And 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 2. Okay, so that's all of the ones there, and that completes the video.